So welcome everyone to Moving Along. We're excited to have Professor Janice Miyasaki here from Canada, and she's been a mentor to many, and I am a huge fan of her work, and we're just so excited to highlight the fact that she won many awards and just this 2025 alone. She is the recipient of the American Academy of Neurology's President's Award. She also in the same year won the Movement Disorders Research Award from the AAN. She has won the King Charles III Coronation Medal and also recently won a mentorship award from her own University of Alberta. She's the department head of clinical neurosciences at the University of Alberta, and my name is Indu Subramanian. I am coming to you from the University of California at Los Angeles. So welcome, Janice. So excited to highlight your work.
Thank you so much for having me.
Maybe we could start with just you telling us what led to all of these awards, especially the AN President's Award.
So I began my career with the AAN, writing a guideline on the initiation of treatment of Parkinson's disease. And so that introduced me to evidence-based medicine and how important it was because we see lots and lots of papers, but to actually synthesize all that information into what is clinically relevant was challenging. And over time, I continued to serve on multiple committees, working groups, and task forces for the American Academy of Neurology. And always I thought of this as an opportunity to serve my colleagues. It's also a great way to be with other people who think that neurology is more than a job, it's a calling. It's an opportunity for us to really lead and for us to help our patients and their families all across the globe.
Yeah, that's really amazing. And the AN, I've also found to have many opportunities to meet like-minded people, and I think their leadership training as well as their advocacy training has just been really, amazing to me. And so I'm a big, also I join you in sort of touting that arena for us connecting and elevating some of the movement disorders work. Have you found also that in your world, I think you wear a hat as also somebody who cheerleads around palliative care. Perhaps you can tell me a little bit about how you've been able to grow that field and also have some of your work highlighted at the AN in that arena as well.
Well, Andrew, thanks for that question. I began thinking about palliative care as I saw my patients progress through the course of their illness. And in fact, I began life as a clinical trialist. Not many people remember that, but with the Parkinson's Study Group. And it was through the Parkinson's Study Group that I learned how to approach collecting data in a valid way and how to conduct a clinical trial. And in the past, many palliative care papers were case series that didn't really examine metrics that were important to patients and movement disorder neurologists because it's a very specialized area, in my opinion. And so I was able to get a paper published on an ambulatory approach to palliative care. And after that, other people started to say, yes, I think that this is important for my patients. I think having a holistic approach in treating people with a chronic progressive illness is valid. And it's not just about end of life, it's really about changing our philosophy of care, including the family. And as you know, the family and your social network are so important to our patients. And so this has really become quite a movement now. And I'm happy to say there are many movement disorder centers that have someone with expertise or training in palliative care on their team.
That's amazing. Another thing that I think you've really done well is to bring out the voices of the patient in your work, as well as I think the needs of the caregiver as well. And so maybe you can tell me a little bit about that.
That's something that caregiver needs is something that I noticed as well in my practice, that the caregivers were gradually accommodating to more and more disability of their loved one. And that often supports weren't available or they didn't know how to access them. I think we take it for granted because we're in the system, but the system is so complex. How do you navigate that? How do you get your person into a day program where they'll be safe and they can administer the medications? How can you get help when your loved one is having a lot of behavioral issues and you still are committed and able to have them at home? So the opportunity to highlight that voice was really important. Also, my mother had Lewy body dementia. And just understanding how difficult it was for me as a single parent, as well as the only child of this person with Lewy body dementia. There was a, now in retrospect, funny episode where I was called because she couldn't get out of bed. She had stopped her levodopa in the beliefs that it wasn't doing much for her. She couldn't get out of bed. She hadn't had a shower for a week. So I went there to shower her. And because I'm a neurologist, not a nurse, I ended up wetting myself as much as I wet my mother. And I was on the way to a business meeting and I had to cancel it. And I have to say, they were not very sympathetic when I said I had to cancel. So I realized if it's that hard for me, how hard must it be for someone who doesn't know the system, for someone who can't even articulate what they need and what would help, and who doesn't have the financial abilities that I had. Um, and so I really want to highlight what our caregivers do for our people and how essential they are to the team. They're really a silent member of our team.
Mhm. Yeah, that is so amazing. And that lived experience translating into your work and your passion and your advocacy is just really brilliant. So I think just one last thing, Janice, maybe you could tell us as for our young new clinicians as well as young women that might be in medicine and neurology, starting out, what advice, a couple of pearls of advice from someone who's won so many awards and created such an amazing career from you.
Well, I'll say that you're seeing the end of 37 years of practice. So that's the first thing. And certainly early on, I remember one of my bosses telling me when I said I wanted to become an investigator, oh, that's really hard. I don't think you can do that. And so the first thing I would say is if you have an idea that you think is going to improve the lives of your patients and families or your teams, don't always listen to the naysayers. When you're the first person to think of doing things, there's often a lot of doubt and pushback. And if you have belief in it, um, speak to people who you really trust. And for me, I have to say it was the nurse coordinators in the Parkinson's study group. I started, when I talked to them about it, they said, oh my God, this is so important. Don't stop doing it. And because it was the nurse coordinators who I had known for so long, and they were the ones taking the calls from patients and families who could no longer come to the clinics, it really validated my belief that we were missing out on helping these people who were so kind and generous and participated in all our research studies, helped us train all our fellows and residents and medical students. They give of themselves so much, and we owe it to them to walk with them until the end.
Absolutely. Wow. That's very powerful. Well, thank you so much, Janice, for sharing your experience and your amazing, career history and award-winning, research and approach to caring for these patients that we all know and love, and really translating a passion for that lived experience and your own experience as a caregiver into research and really elevating this into advocacy now through the AAN and such organizations. So I applaud you. Congratulations as a fellow Canadian on all this awards, and really was touched by your pearls of wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you.